I needed a sugar daddy to pay for my mom's medical bills. He was incredibly generous, but he had a weird quirk. He always made me wear a blindfold when we were together. One day, I went to the CEO's office to drop off some files. I walked in and ran right into my cold, aloof boss. And I realized he was wearing the same niche perfume as me. Just then, I heard his inner voice. She's not going to recognize me, is she? Does this mean I can start playing some office games with her? Oh no, I bumped into my baby. I want to rub it better. My world fell apart. Every night, I complained about my CEO to my sugar daddy. I never thought they were the same person. We'd only been resting for 5 minutes. My sugar daddy pulled me back into his arms. Rested enough? I rubbed my aching back and protested, nope. Me neither. Let's continue, he murmured, his lips finding mine again. He pulled me back down with him. After he'd finally had his fill, I started venting about my boss, Julian Astor. My boss works his employees to the bone. He loves working late and always makes me stay, so I never have any time to go out at night. I was finally about to take my vacation, and he scheduled me for a business trip with him. And he calls me on my desk phone 1,000,000 times a day. I feel like I'm having a psychotic break. I have to run to the CEO's office 100 times a day. My legs are about to fall off. He even makes me work on weekends. Sure, he pays triple for overtime, but I have zero freedom. The worst part is that he always has this cold, dead look on his face. I can't stand pretentious guys like that. If the year-end bonus wasn't so huge, I would have quit a long time ago. I complained about my boss to my sugar daddy all the time. He was clearly used to it, murmuring softly, "Don't be angry, baby. Since you're not sleepy yet, shall we continue?" My mouth twitched. I teased, "You work people even harder than my boss." But at least my sugar daddy was more generous than my boss. He gave me a base of $20,000 a month. If I kept him happy, he'd casually toss me another 100 or 200 grand. Not to mention the endless stream of designer bags and jewelry. With a sugar daddy this generous, what's a few extra rounds? The next day, when I woke up, my sugar daddy was already gone. He was always so mysterious. In the year I'd been his sugar baby, I had never once seen his face. But even though I hadn't, I guessed he had to be pretty young. His stamina was just way too good. I took off the blindfold. On the nightstand, he'd left a diamond bracelet. This thing looked expensive. Looks like all my hard work last night paid off. I fastened the bracelet on my wrist, got ready, and headed to Astor Corp for work. In the elevator on my way down, I ran into an heiress. She glanced at the bracelet on my wrist and sneered, "If you can't afford the real thing, don't wear a fake out in public." It's embarrassing. My sugar daddy had given me a lot of luxury goods, but never a fake. I shot back, "Then you must have terrible eyesight." "Ha," the heiress scoffed. She lectured me with an air of superiority. "There's only one of these bracelets in the world, and it's worth over $850,000. Judging by your clothes, you're just some office worker, right? You could work your whole life and never afford this. Besides, my fiancé already reserved it before it even hit the market. I don't want to be seen wearing the same thing as you, so throw that fake away." I frowned. "And what if I don't?" She said arrogantly, "Then I'll just have the brand sue you for copyright infringement. I'm a VIP client. You don't want to get tangled up in a lawsuit, do you?" "You're insane," I muttered, stepping out of the elevator. The heiress yelled after me, her voice shrill with anger, "You just wait. Once I find out where you work, I'll make you pay." I tossed over my shoulder, "You have no class." Her face got even uglier. What a great way to start the morning, getting attacked by some rabid dog. It completely ruined my good mood. She said this bracelet was that expensive. Whatever, I'll just take it off for now. I unclasped the bracelet and put it in my bag. Astor Corp. I went to the CEO's office to deliver a file to Julian Astor. The moment I walked in, I slammed right into him. My forehead hit his chin. I rubbed my head while apologizing. Sorry, Mr. Astor. I didn't mean to. It's fine, Julian said coolly. A familiar scent drifted into my nose. Julian was wearing my perfume. I guess his girlfriend and I have the same taste. Wait, Mr. Astor said he didn't have a girlfriend. Then why was he wearing women's perfume? Just then, I heard Julian's thoughts. She's not going to recognize me, is she? Does this mean I can start playing some office games with her? Oh no, I bumped into my baby. I want to rub it better. I thought I must have misheard. What did all that mean? I forced myself to stay calm. I handed him the documents. Mr. Astor, these files need your signature. Please take a look. Julian said, taking the files from my hand with his usual cold expression. His eyes scanned my wrist. The next second, I heard his thoughts again. Why isn't baby wearing the bracelet I gave her? Does she not like it? Or did she forget? I should have put it on for her myself last night. Baby was so cooperative last night. I loved it. I want more tonight. This time, it finally clicked. My world fell apart. Julian Astor was my sugar daddy? So what did that make all those nights I spent complaining about him, to him? I walked back to my desk in a daze. A moment later, my desk phone rang. It was Julian. Lisa, make me a coffee and bring it in. I answered on reflex, yes, Mr. Astor. I went to the break room to make the coffee. 2 colleagues from the design department were in there gossiping. Did you see what's trending? The A-list star Felix Johnston is rumored to be with Tiffany Wan, the WinCorp heiress. Yeah, but didn't Tiffany just shut that down online? She said WinCorp was just looking for a brand ambassador, which is why she met with him. She even made a point of saying she's engaged. Someone in the comments dug up that her fiancé is our CEO, and Tiffany accidentally liked the comment. Do you think Mr. Astor is really dating her? Lisa is his assistant. She'd definitely know the inside scoop. Let's ask her. They turned to me, their faces full of curiosity. Lisa, are Mr. Astor and Tiffany Wan really a thing? I don't know anything about Mr. Astor's private life, I said in a low voice. And we shouldn't be gossiping during work hours, especially about the boss. My colleagues nodded. Right. We'll save it for after work. Once they left the break room, I pulled out my phone to check the trending topics. Felix Johnston was a senior from my college, and we still kept in touch occasionally. Just a couple of weeks ago, I'd even gotten his autograph for my niece. I clicked on Tiffany Wan's photo. I couldn't believe it. It was the same heiress from the hotel elevator this morning. The daughter of the WinCorp chairman. No wonder she was so arrogant. She mentioned her fiancé this morning. And she'd liked the comment saying her fiancé was the CEO of Astor Corp. Could it be that Julian really was her fiancé? Then what did that make me, his sugar baby? Was I the other woman? But when my sugar daddy and I started talking online, I specifically asked him on the app. He said he was single and not engaged. That was the only reason I agreed to meet him in person. Our relationship looked like a sugar daddy and sugar baby on the surface, but we had agreed to be boyfriend and girlfriend. I brought the freshly brewed coffee to the CEO's office. As I walked down the hall, I saw Tiffany Wan stepping out of the elevator. She saw me, and a triumphant smirk crossed her face. Well. I just had my assistant look you up, and here you are. I ignored her. Any slower and the coffee would get cold. I was about to turn away when she grabbed my arm. Hold on. The coffee in my hand went flying and splattered all over the floor. Liquid splashed onto my white blouse. My skirt and heels were soaked. Tiffany struck first, scolding me, "What's your job here? How can you be so rude?" Other colleagues gathered around to watch the show. Someone answered, "She's the CEO's assistant." "Oh, so you're the CEO's assistant?" I guess you don't know who I am, then. Tiffany moved closer, leaning in to whisper a threat in my ear. Apologize to me. Right now. Or you can wait to be fired. I stood my ground. Ms. One, you're the one who knocked the coffee out of my hand. You should be the one apologizing to me. Pfft, Tiffany burst out laughing. Her attitude was unbelievably arrogant. The person who can make me apologize hasn't been born yet. I'm here to see Julian. As his assistant, you ignored me. So what if I spilled your coffee? Her eyes fell to my wrist. Oh, why aren't you wearing your fake bracelet anymore? Too embarrassed? She taunted. The bracelet you were wearing this morning was a gift Julian ordered for me. I hate it when people wear fakes. My colleague started murmuring, Lisa wears fake bracelets? That explains all the designer clothes, bags, and jewelry she has. She definitely can't afford that on her salary. So all her designer stuff is fake. And I heard her mom was hospitalized a year ago. The surgery must have cost tens of thousands, right? There's no way she had the money for that. Her family is struggling that much, but she's out here in high-end knockoffs? So vain. She must be trying to land a rich husband, right? Seeing me caught in the storm of gossip, Tiffany sneered, I've seen plenty of assistants like you trying to climb the ladder. If the person you're trying to land is Julian, I'll make you regret it. Just then, someone said, Mr. Astor is here. The crowd parted. Everyone greeted him, Good morning, Mr. Astor. Tiffany rushed up to him, whining, Julian, your assistant has no manners at all. Can you please fire her? Julian frowned, asking her coldly, Who are you? If you're here at Astor Corp to see me, please make an appointment with my assistant 10 days in advance. Since you don't have one, please get out. Tiffany's eyes widened. Julian, it's me, Tiffany. How can you pretend you don't know me? She said, hurt. Didn't you say you were going to give me a bracelet? I'm here to get it. Besides, our families are going to be joined by marriage. So of course I don't need an appointment to see you. Julian corrected her in a frigid tone, Ms. One, I don't know you well. And I never promised to give you a bracelet. Please don't make things up. I have never agreed to a marriage alliance with the One family. If you're delusional, I suggest you see a psychiatrist. After that barrage, Julian's gaze shifted to me. I heard his thoughts, damn it, how dare that psycho Tiffany bully my baby. There's coffee all over her clothes. Did she get burned? My heart aches. I hope she doesn't get the wrong idea. I never promised Tiffany a bracelet. I was at the jewelry store ordering the latest design for my baby when Tiffany happened to see me. She's got a lot of nerve thinking it was for her. Baby, you have to believe me. The One family wants the alliance, but I never agreed. Please don't be jealous. How am I going to make it up to her tonight? I can't wait until tonight. I have to fix this now. Everyone was stunned, whispering amongst themselves. So it was all one-sided. Mr. Astor shut that down fast. I've never seen Mr. Astor talk that much at once. He must be really angry. Tears welled up in Tiffany's eyes. Julian continued, Tiffany, you deliberately knocked the coffee out of my assistant's hand. You will apologize to her. Tiffany said stubbornly, I won't apologize. Why should I, the great heiress of the One family, apologize to a mere assistant? Then, her tone softened. Julian, I can apologize to you. Can you just let me save a little face? A flash of annoyance crossed Julian's face. Tiffany, I'll only say this once. Apologize to Lisa. Tiffany heard the threat in his voice. She weighed her options for a moment, then swallowed her tears and said to me, Lisa, my mistake. I shouldn't have ruined your blouse. I pulled out my phone and showed her my payment QR code. This outfit is worth about $3,000. Pay up. I had just made up the price. Since my sugar daddy had bought the outfit and shoes, I had no idea what they really cost. Tiffany mocked, only $3,000 for the whole outfit? Definitely fake. If this was real, it would be at least $30,000. She was about to scan the code. Julian spoke up coolly, "It is real. And it is $30,000. Transfer her $30,000. What? Tiffany's eyes went wide. Julian, are you trying to humiliate me? How could a secretary afford an outfit that costs $30,000? Fine, fine. It's not like I'm short on cash. The crowd gasped. That was one expensive cup of spilled coffee. I always thought Lisa wouldn't last long here. I never expected Mr. Astor to defend her like this. Wow, Tiffany just made $30,000 in a second. That's insane. But now she's crossed the Wen family heiress. She's probably going to have a rough time. Tiffany transferred the money, then pleaded with Julian, "Julian, I've paid. Can I come to your office and talk for a minute?" No. And from now on, you are not welcome at Astor Corp. With that, Julian turned to me. Lisa, come to my office. Yes, Mr. Astor. I followed Julian. One after the other, we walked into the CEO's office. Behind a bookcase in the CEO's office was a hidden door. It led to Julian's private lounge. He opened the secret door and said, "Come in." I hesitated for a second before following him into the room. Julian closed the door and turned on the lights. Inside was a bathroom, a wardrobe, a bed, and a sofa. He opened the closet and picked out a chic dress. "Your clothes are dirty. Change into this." My eyes glanced at the wardrobe, which was filled with women's clothes and dresses. There was also a lot of sexy lingerie. I tested the waters. "Mr. Astor, are these your girlfriend's clothes?" He nodded. "Yes. They've never been worn. Do you mind?" Just as my mind started to wander, I heard his thoughts. "You're my girlfriend, you silly girl. If you didn't complain about me so much, I would have told you who I am ages ago. This whole wardrobe is filled with clothes I picked out just for you. There's a lot of lingerie, too. I want to try all of it with you. Do you have any idea how many times I've fantasized about us in this lounge when I'm working late? I really want to tell her who I am. Then I could make all my dreams a reality. But what if she can't handle it if I just blurt it out? Forget it. I'll wait. I'll find the right time to tell her." Well, if the dress was meant for me, then there was nothing to mind. "Thank you, Mr. Astor. I'll go change in the bathroom." I took the dress and pushed open the bathroom door. Julian sat down on the sofa. Even through the door, I could still hear his thoughts. This reminds me of that time with baby in the hotel suite bathroom. "It's getting hot, I should loosen my tie. I'm a little thirsty. Why isn't she out yet? I have to be composed. Maintain my cool CEO persona. She still doesn't know I'm her sugar daddy yet." I put on the dress Julian had bought and walked out of the bathroom. I said to him, "Mr. Astor, thank you for helping me out today, and thank you for the dress. How much was it? I can transfer you the money." He looked at me coolly. "No need to thank me. The dress is a gift." "Oh, okay." The words had barely left my mouth when I heard his thoughts again. "Baby, if you really want to thank me, you should kiss me. I want to pin her against the wall. Pinning her to the bed would work, too. Baby looks so beautiful in the dress I bought her. I want to see her in all that sexy lingerie. It's getting even hotter. What's wrong with me? The second I see her, my mind is filled with R-rated thoughts. It's all baby's fault. She's just too good. Every breath she takes is a temptation. 3 hours until quitting time. Just hold on. I can see her tonight. Is this really the cold, aloof CEO I know? He's so down bad. 10 minutes before the end of the workday, I got a text from my sugar daddy, "Baby, same place tonight." The same place was the presidential suite at the hotel. I decided to make him wait. I texted back, I have plans tonight. Maybe another time. He fired back several messages. What plans? Is it important? Can you cancel? I really want to see you tonight. I glanced toward the CEO's office. I thought, haven't you been looking at me all day? Did he have to be so clingy? I replied, can't. I'm meeting a friend for dinner and shopping. The 3 dots showed he was typing. A full minute passed before he replied, then I'll see you tomorrow night. Finally, a night off. The second the clock hit quitting time, I bolted. In the elevator, I got a call from Felix Johnston. He said, Lisa, I'm downstairs at Astor Corp. Want to grab dinner tonight? I remembered how I'd asked him for an autographed photo for my niece. He signed it and sent it to me without a second thought. At the time, I'd politely said, I'll have to treat you to dinner sometime. Since he was already downstairs, there was no time like the present. I could finally treat him to that dinner I owed him. Okay, I'm coming down now, I replied. I got into Felix's car. He was wearing sunglasses and a baseball cap, so no one from the company recognized him. Just as Felix's sports car pulled away, Julian, sitting in his Rolls-Royce, instructed his driver, follow that car. Felix took me to a high-end French restaurant. He had reserved a private room in advance. While we were waiting for the food, I got a text from my sugar daddy, where are you? Me, out to dinner with a friend. Him, a guy or a girl? I hesitated. My sugar daddy was very possessive. Even though there was nothing between Felix and me, it was better to be safe than sorry. If I told him I was with a guy, he would definitely keep asking questions. Me, a girl. My sugar daddy didn't text back after that. I figured he was busy, so I didn't think much of it. The dishes started arriving, and Felix and I had a great time chatting. I asked him for all the juiciest celebrity gossip. After half a bottle of red wine, he looked at me seriously and said, Lisa, the truth is, I've had a crush on you since college. I've been so busy with work these past few years that I never told you. Will you be my girlfriend? Felix Johnston was incredibly handsome and had a great body. And in all his years in the entertainment industry, he'd never been involved in any scandals. I never would have guessed he had a crush on me. He was a great catch by any standard. But he just wasn't my type. I turned him down gently. I'm sorry, but I already have a boyfriend. A flicker of disappointment crossed his eyes. You do? I thought you were waiting for me. Oh, who is he? You should introduce us sometime. I gave him a vague answer. He's pretty busy. Maybe some other time, when there's a chance. Ever since he found out I had a boyfriend, Felix's mood had clearly soured. I changed the subject and started talking about the entertainment industry again. When we were almost done eating, I used the excuse of going to the restroom to sneak out and pay the bill. But when I opened the door to our private room, I saw Julian standing right outside. What was he doing here? Was he eavesdropping? I greeted him politely, Mr. Astor, you're eating here too? What a coincidence. I'm in the room next door. I got turned around, Julian said, pointing to the adjacent room. But his eyes were glued to the space behind me. He saw Felix sitting in our room. I quickly closed the door. Just then, I heard his thoughts. Baby lied to me. She's having dinner with a celebrity. I'm so jealous. What's her relationship with Felix Johnston? Why did she hide this from me? Is Felix trying to win her over? I heard them laughing and talking about gossip just now. Is baby going to leave me for him? I want to throw her over my shoulder, carry her out of here, toss her on the bed, and punish her. A shiver ran down my spine. Mr. Astor, I have to go. Please excuse me. I threw that line at him and hurried to the cashier. When I went to pay, the cashier told me that Felix had already paid when he made the reservation. I went back to the room. My sugar daddy was blowing up my phone. Can we please meet tonight? Anytime is fine. Don't say no. I was about to refuse when I got a bank notification, a transfer of $150,000. Why was he so desperate to see me? I was already exhausted from last night. Was he insatiable? I couldn't let $150,000 change my mind. I texted back, I really can't tonight. He sent another $150,000. Are you on your period? I won't touch you tonight. I just want to see you. I hesitated. Well. Another $150,000. Be good. If you don't agree, I'll just keep sending money until you do. It must be nice to be so rich. If I were a little more greedy, I could have let him transfer me $10 million. But a good sugar baby knows her limits. When the transfers hit $900,000, I finally caved. I replied, okay. See you at the usual place in a bit. When I arrived at the presidential suite, my sugar daddy was already there. The suite was dark. As usual, he was sitting on the sofa. And as usual, I put on my blindfold the moment I walked in. He walked toward me, pinned me against the door, and kissed me. It was a fierce, demanding kiss. I heard his thoughts, I'm so damn jealous. I'm going to kiss her until she can't breathe. Let's see her try to meet other men behind my back after this. The man actually did what he said he would. He really did kiss me until I was breathless before finally letting go. He took my hand and led me to the sofa. Baby, do you want to take off the blindfold and see what I look like? I wasn't ready for that yet. Once he blew his cover, I'd have to deal with him pressuring me at work and at night. The thought alone was terrifying. I politely declined. No, thanks. What if you're ugly? I might not be able to kiss you anymore. He said earnestly, baby, I'm not ugly. I'm better looking than that Alistair Felix Johnston, and I have a better body. He was so jealous. But it was true, Julian was definitely more handsome than Felix Johnston, with a body better than any male model. Let's keep the mystery alive, I said, changing the subject. So, what was so urgent that you had to see me tonight? I just missed you, Julian said, his lips finding mine again. It wasn't long before he lost control. Baby, I remember your period just ended a few days ago. Yeah, I'm not on it, I admitted, feeling my own desire stir. Before, when I didn't know he was Julian, I assumed he was average looking and that's why he always made me wear a blindfold. But now that I knew who he was, when we kissed, all I could picture was Julian's face. And somehow, that made me feel even more attracted to him. A smile played on his lips as he lifted me into his arms and carried me to the bed. I stopped him. Wait, let me take a shower first. I'll draw the bath for you, Julian said, getting up to go to the bathroom. When I got out of the bath, it was like fireworks. I heard his thoughts. While baby was showering, I poked a hole in the condom. If she gets pregnant with my child, I can lock her down for good. Baby is mine. Felix Johnston can dream on. I froze for a second. I had heard of sugar babies poking holes in condoms to get a promotion. I had never heard of a sugar daddy doing it to trap his sugar baby. But he was going to be disappointed. My period had just ended a few days ago. It was my safe period, so the chances of getting pregnant were practically zero. After the storm passed, I lay resting in his arms. He asked lazily, why aren't you complaining about your boss today? This sly fox. All those times I complained about him to his face, and he never said a word, never got angry. He just used it as an excuse to get a few more rounds in. I bet he secretly loved it, working me to death at the office, and then working me to death at night. I decided to poke him where it hurt. My boss is really ugly. Julian's world collapsed. What? What's ugly about him? I held back a laugh and asked with a straight face, do you know him? We've met a few times, Julian pressed. You really think he's ugly? I said, half joking, maybe it's because he always has that cold look on his face. The guy you mentioned earlier, Felix Johnston, was my senior in college. He's way hotter than my boss. Julian. I heard his thoughts. My world is ending. Baby thinks I'm ugly. Good thing she didn't take off her blindfold today. Would she have broken up with me? But wasn't I voted the most handsome young entrepreneur? Baby is making me lose my confidence. So Felix Johnston was her college senior. And she thinks he's hotter than me. I'm even more jealous now. This is unforgivable. I almost burst out laughing. How could my sugar daddy be so entertaining? Okay, I was just kidding. My boss is gorgeous. Way hotter than Felix Johnston. Julian's lips curved into a smile, the dark clouds in his mind vanishing. So Baby was just joking with me. What a relief. Baby is so good at this. She has me completely wrapped around her finger. I want to spoil her again. Wait, who was it that said this was unforgivable just a second ago? He was way too easy to please. Julian pulled me tighter. Rested enough? Not even close, I said, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. I hadn't even started resting. Me neither. Let's continue, Julian whispered, stealing my breath away again. The night was still young, and we were about to be lost in each other once more. The next morning, Julian left before I woke up. He left me a note, Baby, it's Saturday. Sleep in. I have something tonight, will contact you later. I slept for another hour before getting up to have breakfast at the hotel. I couldn't believe I ran into Tiffany when again. Her gaze fell on the love bites on my neck, and her eyes darkened. Well. Looks like you've landed a rich old man. I couldn't be bothered with her. Ms. One, we don't know each other. But she wouldn't let it go. Let me guess. The man you spent the night with left early this morning, probably because he has a family, right? Are you trying to be a homewrecker? I splashed the glass of juice in my hand all over her. Tiffany, you need to show some respect. I didn't do anything to you. Her dress was soaked with juice, and she raised her hand to slap me. But I caught her wrist. I shoved her away and held up my phone. Ms. One, I was recording our conversation. You were the one who started insulting me. If you continue to verbally abuse me, don't blame me for posting this recording online and letting everyone see just how classless the One family heiress really is. You wouldn't dare. Tiffany hissed through gritted teeth. Then her eyes darted around. This dress costs over $75,000. Since you ruined it, you can pay for it. I said calmly, you want me to pay? Fine. Show me the receipt for $75,000 right now. If the amount is wrong, that's fraud. If you can produce the receipt, take off the dress and give it to me, and I'll pay for it. Tiffany had clearly just pulled that number out of thin air, so of course she couldn't produce a receipt for that amount. Plus, there was no way she was going to strip in the middle of a restaurant. She was furious. You're shameless. Julian and I are attending a gala tonight, and I'm going to tell him all about how you're being kept by some old man. Astor Corp won't allow a mistress to be a secretary. Don't come crying to me when you lose your job. I said coldly, oh? Then I'll sue you for defamation. If you dare spread rumors, get ready to face a lawsuit. Tiffany's face twisted in rage. Lisa. You just wait. If I don't get you fired, my name isn't One. You've completely ruined my appetite. I'm not even hungry anymore. I threw that line at her and left the restaurant. Back at home, I got a call from Julian. Lisa, I need you to accompany me to a gala tonight. I'll have a dress and a styling team sent to your place this afternoon. It's the weekend, so I'll pay you 5 times your overtime rate. I immediately agreed. Of course, Mr. Astor. That afternoon, Julian sent over 5 couture gowns. They were all the latest designs from top luxury brands, along with complete sets of jewelry. He also hired a professional makeup artist to do my look. The stylist's eyes lit up when she saw the gowns and jewelry. I do makeup for A-list celebrities all the time, and even they have trouble borrowing gowns like these. This jewelry has to be worth millions. Your boyfriend is so good to you. I corrected her. Oh, he's not my boyfriend. He's my boss. What? I spoke to the client on the phone. He said he was hiring me to do his girlfriend's makeup. I was worried the dress and jewelry were borrowed and I'd have to pay if they got dirty, so I specifically asked. He said he bought them all as a gift for his girlfriend. You're so lucky to have found such a generous boyfriend. This time, it was my turn to be surprised. Was Julian this eager to blow his cover? After my hair and makeup were done, Julian came to pick me up at 6. The driver was in the front, and we sat side by side in the back. I heard his thoughts. My wife is so beautiful. I wonder if the stylist told her what I said. I can't wait any longer. I'm telling her who I am tonight. Tonight, I'm definitely going to get her to call me hubby. Hold on, Mr. Astor. We haven't seen each other in a few hours, and you're already calling me your wife? Are you self-sabotaging at a rate of 100 times an hour? When we arrived at the gala, Tiffany was chatting with a few wealthy society wives. One of them was Julian's mother, Eleanor Astor. When Tiffany saw me in the latest couture gown, with a multi-million-dollar necklace around my neck, her face changed instantly. She turned to Eleanor and said, "Mrs. Astor, your son's secretary is a gold-digging homewrecker. Does someone like that really deserve to be the CEO's assistant at Astor Corp?" The smile on Eleanor's face froze. A homewrecker? Yes. I saw her with my own eyes this morning, checking out of a hotel with a married old man. She even threw juice on my dress. She has no manners at all. Eleanor's face soured. Tiffany, I think you're the one with no manners. Didn't the Astor family already refuse a marriage alliance with you? Is it really necessary for you to slander my future daughter-in-law like this? What? Tiffany's eyes widened. Your future daughter-in-law? Julian took my hand and walked closer. Mom, this is Lisa, the one I told you about. Lisa, this is my mom. Eleanor smiled warmly. Lisa, I've heard Julian mention you often. He says you're an incredibly capable employee. Huh? Julian talks about me to his mom? Tiffany's eyes were red with anger. She pressed Eleanor. Mrs. Astor, who did you just say was your future daughter-in-law? Lisa, of course. With that, Eleanor took out an imperial green jade bangle and slipped it onto my wrist. Lisa, this is a little welcome gift. This is. I stood there, stunned. Julian was also a bit flustered. Mom, you're being too hasty. Then he whispered to me, I didn't know my mom was coming today. Just wear the bracelet for now. I'll explain later. Okay, I said, letting Eleanor place the jade bangle on my wrist. Tiffany looked like she was about to burst into tears. She turned to Julian, her voice filled with disbelief. Julian, have you been bewitched? Lisa was with an old man last night. Julian said coldly, Are you blind? Do I look like an old man? What, it was you, Tiffany stumbled, nearly losing her balance. Eleanor scolded her, Tiffany, when Julian first refused the marriage alliance with your family, I didn't quite understand. But now I see it clearly. You have the family name, but you have no class. None at all. My son has good taste. I'm very satisfied with the daughter-in-law he's chosen. Tiffany was furious. Lisa is just a gold digger. Why her? There's no conflict between being kind and loving money. In fact, I like a woman who loves money, Eleanor said, pulling out a black card and handing it to me. Lisa, as the daughter-in-law of the Astor family, you need to know how to spend. Take this card. Spend whatever you want. Don't hold back. Thanks, Mom. I'll take it for Lisa, Julian said, taking the card for me and pressing it into my hand. Tiffany was so angry she looked like she might faint. Eleanor shot her a cold glare and warned, Tiffany, if you ever bully my daughter-in-law again, I will personally see to it that the One Corporation goes bankrupt. Tiffany's mother rushed over, slapped her across the face, and scolded her, Tiffany. Who told you to be disrespectful to Mrs. Astor? Her father quickly tried to smooth things over. "Mrs. Astor, I apologize on my daughter's behalf. Please, I beg you and Mr. Astor to be merciful." Eleanor said coldly, "Apologizing to me is useless. Have Tiffany apologize to my future daughter-in-law." Tiffany's dad glared at her and hissed, "Apologize now. Our family can't afford to cross the Astors." The Wen family had some money, but they were nothing compared to the Astors. If the Astors wanted to crush them, the Wen Corporation would be bankrupt in minutes. Tears streaming down her face, Tiffany said to me, "Lisa, I shouldn't have spread rumors about you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'll stay out of your way from now on." I nodded. "Fine. Then start by getting out of my sight. I don't want you ruining my mood." Tiffany was dragged away by her parents. Eleanor chatted with me. "Lisa, I actually first saw you 2 years ago." I was surprised. 2 years ago? Eleanor nodded. "Yes. It was a rainy evening 2 years ago. I was in my car, passing by an alley, and I saw you helping an elderly woman who sold fruit. I took a picture of you then. I remembered that rainy evening. A group of thugs had robbed an old woman's fruit stand. When she tried to argue with them, they stole her money and stomped all her fruit into the ground. By the time I passed by, the thugs were gone. The old woman was sitting on the ground, sobbing, saying that was the money for her granddaughter's tuition. I had about $500 on me that day, and I gave it all to her. I also gave her my umbrella. Later, I went to the police station to ask them to check the security footage and find those thugs. But the police told me they had already been arrested." Eleanor continued, "I was the one who had them arrested. I was worried they might try to retaliate against you and the old woman, so I had someone warn them. No wonder those thugs never bothered me or the old woman again." It was because Eleanor had intervened behind the scenes. For the past few years, Julian has been single, and the Wen family has been pushing for a marriage alliance with us. I was actually considering it. But Julian refused. He told me he had a girlfriend and showed me your picture. That's when I found out you work at Astor Corp and that you were his girlfriend. That boy, he keeps his secrets well. You were someone I had my eye on, and you're the woman my son loves. You're practically the destined daughter-in-law for our family. It really did feel like fate. Just as Eleanor and I were getting into our conversation, Julian walked over and said to his mom, "Mom, I need to talk to Lisa about something." Eleanor smiled knowingly. "Of course. You two talk." Julian led me to a private lounge and closed the door. "Baby, please let me explain." I said calmly, "Okay. Explain." Julian began, "I've liked you for a long time, but I'm slow to act, and I hadn't figured out how to pursue you. A year ago, I overheard some colleagues in the break room saying your mom needed surgery and you couldn't raise the money, that you were even looking into payday loans. So, I contacted you from an unknown number. You know the rest. A year ago, my mom needed surgery that cost around $40,000. I had only graduated 2 years prior and definitely didn't have that kind of money saved up. A colleague saw me applying for a high-interest loan in the break room during my lunch break. The loan application was rejected, and just when I was at my wit's end, I got a text from an unknown number. "Do you need money? Start an online relationship with me, and I'll give you $150,000. The person transferred me the money right away. At first, we just talked on a messaging app, and we clicked immediately. He had the personality I liked, so we decided to meet in person. We met in a hotel presidential suite. I was so nervous the first time that we kept the lights off. Julian explained, "I was going to tell you who I was, but then you started complaining about your boss. I was afraid you wouldn't like me, so from then on, I made you wear the blindfold. That day my boss made me stay late, I couldn't help but vent a little. What a beautiful misunderstanding." I reminded him, "Julian, our backgrounds are very different." Julian insisted, "I don't care. And my parents don't care either." When I didn't say anything, Julian stared at me. I heard his thoughts. why isn't wifey saying anything? Is she mad at me for lying to her? Wifey, please say something. Don't give me the silent treatment. I can't take it. Seriously? I was quiet for 10 seconds and that's the silent treatment? He was impossibly clingy. Since they didn't care, then I didn't care either. Where else was I going to find such a perfect boyfriend and mother-in-law? After the gala, Julian took me back to his place. The moment he closed the bedroom door, he started to settle old scores. Wifey, why were you having dinner with Felix Johnston last night? I came clean. I owed him a meal for getting his autograph for my niece. You made me drink 2 vats of vinegar. You'll have to make it up to me tonight, okay? I nodded readily. Okay. I heard his thoughts. Wifey is so agreeable. I should have asked for more compensation. Besides tonight, I want some compensation at the office on Monday, too. That whole closet of lingerie, I want to try it all with wifey. My ears turned red. My legs were already feeling weak. As the night deepened, Julian held my waist and coaxed, wifey, call me hubby. I played hard to get. No. He didn't say a word, just got back to work. In the end, I was crying and begging for mercy. Hubby, hubby. After that day, Tiffany really did disappear from my life. But I did see her in the entertainment news. She claimed she was dating Felix Johnston, only to be publicly refuted by his official statement. Felix Johnston's statement, I have only met Ms. One once. We are not dating. Felix's fans then dug up dirt on Tiffany, exposing her for having affairs with married men. Her reputation was ruined. On the day Julian and I got married, Felix Johnston sent me a congratulatory text. Lisa, you have excellent taste in husbands. I have no complaints about losing to him. Congratulations on your marriage. I'm going to focus on my career from now on. I replied, then I wish you a brilliant career ahead. Julian glanced over, saw me texting Felix Johnston, and got jealous all over again. You two are still in touch. It's just a congratulatory text. Don't be jealous of everything. I heard his thoughts. Why would I want to eat vinegar? Wifey is much tastier. I finally married the woman I love. I'm so happy. Outside the window, fireworks bloomed, lighting up the night sky and heralding the beginning of our spectacular and beautiful married life.